guys, welcome back to my channel where I help eczema warriors get rid of inflammation, itch, and the uncomfortable skin. So in today's video, we're going to talk all about how to relieve the eczema itch. So I know a lot of you guys are dealing with that unbearable itch, keeping you up all night, and you're just feeling so uncomfortable with your skin being so itchy. That's why in today's video, I'm going to share with you guys 6 amazing tips to help you stop the eczema itch. Now remember, there isn't a quick fix with eczema. Oftentimes it takes a lot of work to get you at a place where your eczema no longer bothers you anymore. However, there are ways to help your eczema feel less itchy and less inflamed, especially when you're going through a flare-up. There are some tips and tricks I want to share with you guys to help you guys feel better. So if you want to learn these tips and tricks, then continue watching this video. The very first tip to stop the eczema itch is something I like to recommend if you want instant relief, and that is using pure aloe vera gel. Now, aloe vera is a plant that has been used for many years on relieving inflammation and helping to cool sunburns that you get from being in the sun for too long, and also helps with eczema as well. So what I like to do when I'm dealing with an eczema itch, or if I just want to get some relief, is that I go to the store and I actually get myself pure aloe vera gel and apply it topically onto the areas that are very itchy and very inflamed. Now when I do this, I feel an instant relief. I feel that my skin is a lot more calm. Another way you can do this is to actually buy an aloe vera plant. Cut off a part of the plant and open it up and use the pure aloe in it. Now this is a great way if you want pure 100% aloe. You can apply that on your skin versus buying an aloe vera gel from the store, which typically has some preservatives in there. However, you are able to find brands that are pure 90% to 100% aloe vera. I just think that using the natural form is the best way to help with your eczema. Another topical I like to use is chickweed. So chickweed is an herb that's commonly used to relieve itch and help soothe the skin. So this is something I learned from my naturopath many years ago when I was dealing with very severe symptoms from topical steroid withdrawal, and she recommended me to buy this salve from a natural health store. So this is something that you can get at a natural health food store, or you can go to a botanical shop and ask to see if they make that. Same thing with aloe vera gel. You just apply it topically on areas that are inflamed and itchy, and you will feel relief. And the next tip that I have for stopping the eczema itch is something that you likely have in your home, and it's very easy to get, and that is using ice. So what I like to do is to actually grab some ice cubes from my freezer, put it into a Ziploc bag or a plastic bag, and immediately put it on areas that are very angry at me and very itchy. Now if you don't have ice cubes, you can do ice packs. Whatever is very cold from the freezer you can use. It doesn't even have to be ice. You want to apply it to that area for a few minutes or even longer to really reduce that inflammation. You can do this several times a day. You can do this before bedtime, because usually bedtime is when people get the most itchy. I highly recommend using ice if you can. Helps to cool down your body and make you feel a lot better. And the next tip that I have with stopping the eczema itch is to take quercetin and eat antihistamine foods. So quercetin is a natural compound that is mostly found in plants, but you can actually get this in a supplement form. This is something that I recommend you taking. If you feel like an itch is coming and you feel really uncomfortable, then immediately take a quercetin and you will feel a lot better. Now usually I like to take 1 to 2 capsules a day, but you do want to follow what the bottle says. If you are dealing with a lot of itchiness when you're sleeping, what you can do is to take quercetin before you go to bed. Quercetin is an antihistamine that helps to reduce the amount of histamines that's being released out of your body. Now histamines is something that you likely have too much of in your body, especially if you have eczema, which is why you are feeling really itchy. Another thing you can do is to eat more antihistamine foods. So antihistamine foods are usually found in fruits and vegetables, anything that is high in vitamin C. So you can eat more broccoli, eat more peppers. If you're not allergic to citrus, citrus usually has high amounts of vitamin C, like oranges and kiwis and lemons. So definitely include that more often in your diet in order to reduce the amount of histamines that's being released out of your body. And the next tip that I have with stopping the eczema itch is by far my favorite, and that is dead sea salts. So dead sea salts I think it's magical on how much improvement people have seen with using Dead Sea salts. Dead Sea salt is basically salt from the Dead Sea in Israel, and it has amazing benefits. Not only does it help with stopping the eczema itch, it helps with getting rid of inflammation, it helps with relieving stress if you're taking a big bath in it, and it contains a lot of minerals that's really helpful for wound healing. Now, the way I like to use Dead Sea salts is to put about 1 to 2 cups in a big bathtub with lukewarm water and take a bath in it every day for about 20 to 30 minutes at the least. Now, you want to be careful with how much salt you're using, because like with any salt, if you have wounds on your body, if you have rashes, then it might burn. So definitely play around with how much you're using. You can start with half a cup and increase it up to about 1 to 2 cups and see how you feel. Now, if you don't have a bathtub at home, and I know a lot of us don't, I don't have a bathtub, another thing you can do with Dead Sea salts is to soak areas of your body that have eczema or that's very itchy. For example, if your arm is very itchy, what you can do is get a big bowl, like usually like a salad bowl, grab a handful of Dead Sea salts, put it in there, mix in some lukewarm water, and soak your arm in it, just like this. You can do this for your arm, you can do this for your hands if you have eczema on your hands. You can do this on your feet. Obviously, it's easier to do it on areas that you can easily soak. Other areas may be more difficult, and you will likely need a bath in order to get your whole body soaked in Dead Sea salts. All right, and the next tip on how to stop the eczema itch is to figure out what's causing it. With eczema, I believe that there's always a reason for flare-ups. There's many reasons why you can flare, but it's always good to try and pinpoint it if you can. And one way to do that is to look at your food diary. I highly suggest you guys to record what you eat every single day, breakfast, lunch, dinner, all of your snacks, and all of your fluids, and try and see if you can identify something that you ate that might have caused the itch. Now, I'm not saying food is always the reason why you get itchy, but at least you have some insight and have some data on why you got itchy in the first place. And food is somewhere where you can start off, but also consider other factors as well. Now, when you're looking at your food diary, you want to look out for things like processed foods. Did you eat a lot of junk food and chips and deep fried things in the past few days? Did you eat a lot of spicy food? Because spices can definitely be a trigger for eczema. Have you been eating a lot of red meat? I talk about different foods that can trigger eczema at this video right here if you want to know what are some things that you should even look out for in your food diary. And of course, other things like how much fluid were you drinking? Were you very dehydrated? That can affect the skin. Were you drinking alcohol? We know alcohol is a huge trigger and an inflammatory toxin that can affect the skin as well. Now, other things to consider besides your food is to look at your stress levels. Have you been working too much this past week? Have you been thinking a lot about school, work, your family, your kids, and are all these things causing a lot of mental stress that you're not noticing and that can actually manifest as an eczema rash? So these are really things to consider, not just the food, but also how your stress levels work. And then of course, there's also environmental factors as well. So has it been really windy lately? Wind, I've noticed, can actually affect the skin and make the skin a lot more itchy, and that's something I learned from my Chinese medicine doctor. If there's been a drastic weather change, that can also affect the skin as well. So really be mindful of what's going on around you and see if you can identify if any of those things is what's causing your eczema to flare up. One way to do that is to write in a diet diary, take notes on your phone, keep a journal, be mindful of how you're feeling, and see if you can correlate that to your eczema rash. And the next tip on how to stop the eczema itch is if, let's say, all of the tips that I recommended previously doesn't work for you for whatever reason, this is what you can do next in order to not have your scratches be that severe. So something you can do is actually wear gloves. So wearing cotton gloves can actually help a lot with scratching because it prevents your nails from breaking into your skin and actually ripping it open. So when you're able to wear layers of cotton gloves that you can get from the store, you can get this from Walmart, Walgreens, Target, any department store should have cotton gloves. So if you're really itchy, wear those cotton gloves, wrap it up, and that'll help you not scratch so hard and cause damage to the skin. This is something that you can also wear at nighttime. If you're a scratcher at night, wear those cotton gloves, keep them secure so they don't come off when you're sleeping, and you will notice a difference in terms of how deep you scratch. Because as you know, sometimes the itch and the scratching is inevitable, and so how do we do that without damaging our skin to the point where we feel uncomfortable? And so I think that cotton gloves can really make a difference, so I highly suggest you using it. Alright guys, so at this point in the video, you learned the 6 tips on how to stop the eczema itch. If you feel like you need more help with your eczema, come and join my free Facebook group called the Eczema Healing Tribe, where I go on weekly Facebook Lives to answer any of your guys' questions about diet, managing your eczema, stress, supplements, and more. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you check out the other 2 videos I have right here, where I talk all about how to manage your eczema. Thanks for watching today's video, and I'll see you guys at the next one.